Conservative new media viewers, JLin fans around the world, Charlotte Hornets fans around the world, what's up? It's me, PFA Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert, and we're here to discuss Charlotte's 97-90 defeat tonight to the Miami Heat in Charlotte, North Carolina. With the loss, Charlotte and Miami are now tied 3 games apiece in this best-of-7 series. That means there will be a decisive Game 7, which is going to take place in Miami, Florida. We'll talk about that in a little bit. That's going to take place 2 days from now, Sunday. It's actually less than 2 days because it's going to be an afternoon game here in the United States. Now, what happened in this game? The overview and how did Jeremy do? Jeremy came into tonight's game not only playing well in the playoffs, showing that he can play well and play consistently well in the playoffs, he also showed in game number 5 that he could play well on the road in the playoffs, which is something I did not mention in the Game 5 video. That's a new level for Jeremy. I don't think he's ever played particularly well on the road in any of the games in his playoff career until game number 5. Games 1 and 2 weren't really easy for him, I don't think, in this series, but he did play well in game number 5. And obviously he had the game-winning assist to Courtney Lee, which was a huge play, and he also accounted for the final 5 points for Charlotte. He had a jump shot before Courtney Lee's jumper, and then he passed the ball to Courtney Lee for the made 3-pointer, which was the game-winning score for the contest. So that's something I want to point out. Now, tonight was a new challenge for Jeremy, and of course for the team as well, which is how do you deal with closing a team out? Can you close out a team? Because that's kind of oftentimes the toughest game of the series, because the other team is desperate. They don't want to end the series, and so you have to kind of get your focus and your intensity to the level that it needs to be. Jeremy has never been in this situation before in his career. He's never been in a position on a team where he was playing and they had the chance to defeat another team in a playoff series. So this was new territory for Jeremy, and he had a kind of tough night tonight. But I think I'm not shook up about it. I know he's going to grow from it. The way that you grow is to go through things and to experience things, and then you you learn how to deal with it, and then you can do it better when you move forward. So as tough as tonight was for Jeremy and for the team and as a whole, it's going to help them down the line. Now, hopefully it'll help them immediately, like for game number 7, but even if it doesn't, it's still a good learning experience. Sure, it's better to win than to lose, but this is what young teams have to go through. And the Heat has, even though the Heat's a relatively new team themselves, this version of them, they still have championship level players and experience, like Dwayne Wade, like Coach Eric Spoelstra. They're more used to it a little bit. Even players like Luol Deng, he was part of Chicago, and those teams, I think, went to the Eastern Conference Finals. So there's more experience on that side than there is for Charlotte. So I'm not completely shocked that Miami won tonight. Now, how did Miami win? They won because Dwayne Wade was really good and in the very closing stretches of this game. They won because they made 3-pointers, and they made more than Charlotte did. And they won because they out-rebounded Charlotte. Those were the 3 main reasons: Wade, 3-pointers, and rebounding. Okay, let's take a look. Talk about the team statistics here. Field goal percentage, Miami 46, Charlotte 42. Miami shot 60% in the first half. So this looked like what we saw in games number 1 and games number 2, where it's like, okay, Miami's going to hit everything, and Charlotte can't do anything to stop it. Well, they did a lot to stop it in the second half. And since actually game number 2, Charlotte's defense in the second halves of these games has been very, very good. And it was again tonight. I think once Clifford sees what's happening and what the arrangement is, he's able to make adjustments, he and his staff, and then things get much tougher for Miami. That's definitely what happened tonight. Miami, coming out of the break, had a 9-point lead, and then Charlotte whittled it down. They got it all the way down. I think they got it to like 2 points. It might have even tied the game. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get over the hump. So that 60% came far down to 46%. 3-pointers made and attempted. Miami 8 of 16, Charlotte 5 of 17. So they shot 50% from 3-pointers, did Miami, and they made 3 more pointers than the Hornets did. The final score was 7-point spread. There's a 3-point difference there. 3 made 3-pointers, 3 points for each. That's 9 points right there. Okay. Free throws, Charlotte had the advantage in that. The free throw percentage was very close. Rebounds, Miami 46, Charlotte 31. So this is the second category where Charlotte lost the game. Offensive rebounds, Miami 11, Charlotte 5. So there's a statistic called second chance points. They don't have it listed here, but if you get more offensive rebounds, you have more opportunity for second chance points. So Miami had double the number of offensive rebounds. That, I'm sure, led to an advantage for them in second chance points, or certainly the opportunity for an advantage. Miami got offensive rebounds when they needed them, and it certainly helped them at different junctures of this game. So they were able to get more field goal attempts, they hit more 3-pointers, and they were able to shoot more shots and shoot more and hit more threes, partly because they got more offensive rebounds, and that was a big reason why Charlotte lost tonight. A lot of the other statistics are relatively close. Assists, very close. Steals, Charlotte actually had twice as many. Miami did have twice as many blocks. The turnovers were relatively close. Charlotte won the points in the paint, which we've talked about before, so they were able to do that. And as we've said during this series, it's switched around from Charlotte's going to drive because Miami's not letting them shoot 3-pointers. And then game number 5 was, okay, now Charlotte can shoot 3-pointers. Miami's changing their defense to kind of slow down Jeremy and Kemba driving. Tonight was more of that. There was a chance to shoot more threes, but it was kind of... they kind of mixed it up from what I could tell. I'd have to watch the game again to really get a better feel for it, but they were doing a decent job guarding the 3-point line tonight, was Miami. I don't think they gave Charlotte as many clean, open shots from 3-point range as they did in game number 5. However, even while they did that, they also were still focused on slowing down Kemba and JLin in terms of getting into the paint. And I thought that kind of affected Jeremy a little bit because, like last game, it was forcing Jeremy to shoot the ball more from distance rather than up close. Now, that's if you're going against Jeremy and you have to pick your poison, so to speak. You have to pick a way in which you want to defend him individually. It makes more sense to try to make him shoot the ball from distance than let him drive. If you let him drive, he's going to hurt you. I mean, he's going to score points, and he's going to get fouls on your team. If you make him shoot jump shots, it's not as clear cut because he's struggled somewhat with his outside shooting this year, and he's changing his form. And so I thought that Miami forced him to do more jump shooting in this game and in game number 5, and it's paying off for Miami. And that's what we talked about. This is why you work on your skills. This is one reason why Kemba's had such a good year this year. Before this year, Kemba couldn't really shoot three-pointers well, and everybody knew that. So when you defend him, you just make him shoot. Don't let him get to the basket, make him shoot. And it worked. Now it doesn't work as well because Kemba shoots the ball. He changed his shooting form, and he shoots the three-pointer much better now. And so that makes him more dangerous as an offensive player. That's what Jeremy's working on right now. And look, he'll get it. I have no question in my mind he'll get it. But for now in this series, that's the challenge. Is Miami going to be able to succeed in making JLin a jump shooter rather than a driver? And if they do that, how is Jeremy going to shoot the ball? Tonight he struggled with shooting, although to be fair, some of them were around the basket. Like some of them weren't missed jump shots. They were missed shots around the basket on drives. So, look, this is normal. This is normal progression for a player. Again, Jeremy's a point guard, which is the most challenging position to play in the game. We've said it many times before over the years. It takes time to develop it. I think there's always been maybe a slight mechanical flaw with Jeremy's jump shot, so he's working that out. It's just going to take time. Hopefully, I know he's going to get it. Hopefully, he'll be able to shoot well in game number 7, and we'll find out from here. But let's go over the individual statistics here, and I'll bring Jeremy up in this. So that's kind of what happened in the overall game. Miami shot the three better, and they rebounded better. And they started out really hot in the first half shooting. Then Charlotte's defense really clamped them down. Wade got hot late. So did Kemba. But Miami had enough of a cushion so they could hold Charlotte off. Charlotte made a comeback. Miami held them off. That's basically what happened in this game. Now we'll talk more about Jeremy here as I just go through the statistics. Miami Heat were led by Dwayne Wade, 23 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. He was phenomenal down the stretch, and he was getting into kind of a trash-talking contest with a fan that sits courtside at the Hornets games. He often wears a purple shirt, I think, and he's a very noticeable guy. I think this year the guy actually got kicked out of a game for touching LeBron James. So it was just funny because they were going back and forth, and Wade was starting to do well, and then he was talking to the guy and so forth. Goran Dragic, 14.7 rebounds. He was big down the stretch of this game. He didn't shoot the ball well, 6 of 17, so like 33, 35%, but he got hot late. He made a couple baskets late that really helped the team. Hassan Whiteside, 12 points, 7 rebounds. Hassan fouled out of this game with about 2.5 minutes left or so, which was advantage for Charlotte. Luol Deng, 21 points, 4 rebounds. Joe Johnson, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Justice Winslow and Josh Richardson, 6 points each off the Miami bench. For the Hornets, they were led by Kemba Walker, who had a monster game, 37 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. People were upset after the game ended. They thought Kemba was shooting too much. I'll tell you, Kemba had to shoot. The reason why he had to shoot was Jeremy didn't play late in this game. I will talk about that in a second. The only people who had any offensive rhythm for the Hornets tonight were Kemba and Al Jefferson. Kemba can make more happen than Al Jefferson can in terms of getting to his spot and getting open shots. And Kemba started to get hot late. And so it's like he had to shoot. He should have shot, and it worked pretty well. He almost brought the Hornets back. It's not what you want him to do every single night, but tonight I thought it worked pretty well. And so I really didn't have any problem with him doing what he did. Al Jefferson, 18 points, 9 rebounds. Al played a nice game, good balance. I thought Al got a little tired later in the game. That's another reason why I think Kemba might have taken over the way that he did. Frank Kaminsky, 7.7 rebounds. Frank didn't shoot much, didn't have a huge impact on this game. He was beaten by Luol Deng for at least one three-pointer like he was earlier in the series and maybe a drive here or there. But, look, he's doing what he can. He's a rookie. And, again, he's never been in this position before in this type of a game. Courtney Lee, 2 points, 3 rebounds. Courtney played very good defense in this game. He only shot 2 times, so it's hard to get on him for only scoring 2 points. Marvin Williams had another tough shooting night. He finished with 0 points and 4 rebounds on 0 of 7 shooting. So Marvin has had a lot of struggles in this series on offense. Some of the shots that he's missing, he's open, and some of them are pretty well contested. Marvin likes to sit out on the three-point line and shoot threes, and Miami's not letting him. But Marvin did have maybe a look or two in this game that were open, and he just wasn't able to hit it. And that's just – Marvin's a good player, and he's a veteran. He's been through a lot. It's just sometimes you have a tough series. You just have a tough stretch, and that's kind of what he's going through. Although he's playing excellent defense, and he's kind of the quarterback of the defense. He's the one that makes the calls and on what's happening on the floor and communicating. So it's not like he's not doing anything. Just he's having a tough time on offense. And he certainly did tonight, although in Game 5 he was big. Cody Zeller off the bench, 12.3 rebounds. Cody played fantastic. He's playing with one of his knees is bothering him, and he's having a tough time with that. But he really did a good job tonight setting screens and rolling to the basket off the pick and roll. And because of how Miami was defending, like it was open, he was open on those plays. And they got him the ball, and he was scoring nice little layups right around the basket. Nick Batum, 6 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. Nick only played 15 minutes of this game, and that's because he hurt his ankle. And I don't know which ankle it was. Near the end of the regular season, Nick hurt one of his ankles. He sprained one of his ankles. And then in the playoffs, he hurt his foot, and now he sprained one of his ankles again. And I would imagine it's probably the one he hurt before, but I don't know. He left the game, and he never came back. So we're just going to have to see what his status is for game number 7. Troy Daniels played 2 minutes. He didn't get any shots up. He just came in very quickly to, I think, give Kemba a rest, or maybe he came in for Jeremy. I don't remember right now. Jeremy Lin, 8 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. Jeremy played 24 minutes, shot 1 of 8 from the field, including 0 of 1 from three-point range, 6 of 6 from the free throw line, no steals, no blocks, 3 turnovers, 5 personal fouls. Jeremy's plus-minus was a minus 17, which tonight was the worst of anybody on Charlotte. Jeremy missed some perimeter shots, and he missed one layup in transition that I think was challenged heavily. Like, someone was racing right behind him and, like, may have altered the shot, or they made him, like, they concerned him enough where he kind of just missed it slightly, like Courtney Lee did against Dwayne Wade in game number 5. Jeremy also, I know he missed a turnaround fadeaway against the Son Whiteside in the lane. And what I think happened, which kind of happened in game number 5 also, was Jeremy couldn't get in an offensive rhythm early. So he kind of couldn't get into a groove shooting the ball. Now, he only took 8 shots. I mean, that's not that many. But he couldn't find that rhythm. And they were working to slow him down. And unfortunately, tonight it worked. Now, he still had 8 points. He played excellent defense in the second half. Really good defense. He helped slow down Dwayne Wade for a substantial portion of the second half. He and Courtney Lee. But, again, this is the second game in a row where he's, what did he score last game? I think 11 points. Tonight was 8. He came into tonight averaging 14 points for the series. So, a bit down tonight, a bit down last game, although obviously he played great last game. And he did not finish the game. he got 2 offensive fouls in the fourth quarter, 2 charging calls against him. Those both are turnovers, because it's an offensive foul and a turnover when you get a charge. And the second charge was his 5th foul of the game, meaning he only had 1 foul left, and then he has to leave the game. After he got his 5th foul, soon after that, Cliff took him out and just kept him out. So Jeremy, I think for the first time in this series, wasn't in the closing lineup. And I'm looking at it right here. Jeremy came out of the game with, it was maybe about 7 minutes left, 6.5 minutes left, something like that. And he never came back in. Why did Clifford do that? I think the team was making a comeback, and most of what they were doing on offense. Defense, excuse me. So I might have figured, look, Jeremy, just offensively, it's not there for him tonight. I'm just going to kind of load up on the defense and go with that. The final lineup on the floor was the starting lineup, meaning it was Kemba, Courtney Lee, Marvin Williams, Frank Kaminsky, and Al Jefferson. I believe that's correct. So when he came out, like I said, he might have come out for. He came out and Kemba came back in. That's what it was. He came out and Kemba replaced him. And Clifford was trying to rest Kemba more. But then when Jeremy got the 2 fouls, he felt like he had to put Kemba back in. And that's kind of the way it worked. And so that was the finishing group. So I won't do all of the quarter by quarter here. Just it wasn't a great night. But Jeremy's, the 2 turnovers, the 2 offensive fouls happened early in the fourth quarter. So they happened between 12 minutes left and 8 minutes left, or thereabouts, maybe 7.5 minutes left, something like that. The thing that was good with Jeremy, look, he worked hard. He put a lot of effort into this game. Sometimes, again, when you're new to this situation, the way that Jeremy is, because he's never been in this situation, you can be too geeked up. You can be too excited. You can be too intense. I know that we've seen in this playoff series, in my opinion, we've seen times where Kemba is a little too excited. He starts shooting too much or dribbling too much. So you just have to go through it to learn how to do it. And so I think maybe some of that happened to Jeremy tonight. And again, you're playing against an experienced, good defensive team. Miami they're not super tall. They're not playing with a lot of big guys, but they're athletic. They have long arms, and they're good on defense. And so at least one of the charges was against one was against Udonis Haslem, who's a terrific defender, who's won multiple championships, I think 3 championships with the team. And the other was against Luol Deng. These are top-level defenders. And they're veterans. They'll make you make mistakes in big moments, and you just have to learn to avoid it. And tonight, the veterans, got a little bit of the better of Jeremy, and as did Miami's defensive scheme. Look, I'm not happy about it, but I actually welcome it, because now Jeremy he's through it. He's experienced it. Now the next time it happens, he'll be ready for it. And that's where I think things are going right now. So I'm not going to linger on all the stuff. Jeremy definitely had his moments in this game, and he did make sure to get to the free throw line. He knew his shot wasn't working. If your shot isn't working so good, try to get fouled. Get to the free throw line. Jeremy had 8 field goal attempts, and he had 6 free throw attempts. That's a really good ratio. Really good. I don't know, 6 of 8, 3 of 4. Yeah, it's 75% what they call free throw rate. That's extremely high. So it's not like Jeremy didn't do anything in this. He played terrific defense, particularly in the second half. He got to the free throw line. he did what he could. Coach Cliff decided to take him out late, go with the starters, and just ride with that unit. And it didn't work out. The team just couldn't quite get there tonight. And you have to give credit to Coach Spoelstra for the Heat and for Miami, for Dwayne Wade, and for all their players. They really stepped up. Early in this game, Charlotte had them on the ropes. Like Miami was down by 7 or 8 points, and they were reeling. They took a timeout, and after that, they played well pretty much throughout the game. Although Charlotte did make the comeback in the second half. So let's talk then about game number 7, because that's what we're left with now. Look, it's a tough loss. Tonight was certainly the right time in terms of the best opportunity for Charlotte to win the game. They weren't able to do it. I'm sure they were favored to do it. So it is disappointing. It is. If I was talking to Jeremy and the team right now, tell him just let it go. Yeah, what Jeremy did early in his career, and he's improved on this tremendously, and he's talked about it this year, is he took losses too hard. Think about them too much and for too long. Remember in Jeremy when he was in Houston, like the first year, he would cry after tough losses and stuff just because he's stressed out. Not because he's weak, but just, you want to do better. This is how it is. It's like Dwayne Wade after Game 5. When he was on the podium, he's like, I thought I got fouled, but nothing I can do about it now. Just, I'll be mad tonight, and then tomorrow's a new day. That's it. Be mad tonight and let it go tomorrow. You guys can still win the series. You've proven you can win in Miami. It's going to be tough, but it's possible. So just focus on what you can do instead of what happened. All right, be in the moment. Game number 7, Sunday, May 1st, in Miami, Florida, and it will take place here in the United States at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That means the game will take place really early on Monday, May 2nd, in Taipei, Taiwan, and throughout China, like a midnight type of game. So I'm sure it'll be hard to stay up for that one. For the players too, it's going to be weird because it's an early game, and again, these guys are used to playing at night, so that's another variable that's going to come into play. And Miami I think they used 10 players tonight. So they used their bench more than Charlotte did. And that could wear down Charlotte a bit more, which is not good news for Charlotte. The fatigue kind of adds up. Yeah, Miami used 10 guys. Charlotte used 9 guys, but Troy Daniels only played 2 minutes. Now, I didn't mention, I did mention it. Spencer Hawes missed this game. He is out with a sprained MCL ligament in one of his knees. That hurts a lot. That hurts Jeremy's driving, and it hurts the spacing of the team. He's not a starter, but Spencer, the last 2 games, in Game 4 and Game 5, he played about 15 minutes a game, and he had a good impact in terms of statistically for the team. He's out, and now Nick Batum might be out. So then you're left with, and I said earlier, Cody Zeller's hurting. One of his knees is hurting. Jeremy's not 100%. Kemba's not 100%. So the fatigue could be more of a problem for Charlotte. And because you don't have a full 48 hours to recover, you have whatever shortened because you're playing, maybe, 41 hours because you're playing in the afternoon versus the night. The recovery time's even shorter. I think there's a good chance that Clifford is going to have to use the bench more. Maybe you will see Troy Daniels playing more. Maybe you'll even see Jeremy Lamb, possibly. The reason why Jeremy Lamb doesn't play more is because his defense isn't that good. I'm pretty sure that's why. Troy Daniels doesn't play more because he's not a ball handler. Usually they want 2 ball handlers on the floor when they can get it. Those 3 the 3 ball handlers are Kemba, Jeremy, and Nick Batum. So Troy is a shooter. But look, if somebody's gonna, if he's gonna pick a ninth man, my guess is it'll be Troy Daniels. Although, like I said, Troy could end up being the eighth man, and then a ninth man might have to step in there because of Nick Batum, and we'll have to see how his status is and how his ankle is in the morning. Hopefully it's okay. They certainly could use Nick. So it's going to be tough. I mean, Miami's going to be favored in game number 7. They should be favored. I'm not counting the Hornets out because I know what they're capable of, and I know that they believe that they can win, or at least to this point they have believed. I doubt they're going to lose belief between now and game 7. It's going to be tough. Kemba's worn out. You lose another guy to injury, or you're at least without Spencer Hawes. You just lost on your home court. Miami's feeling good, and so forth. What Charlotte needs to do in game number 7 is they have to try to get out to a decent start. And what that really means is you have to hold down Miami. You can't have a game number 1 or a game number 2 scenario. If you have a game like this, you can win. You can have a chance to win. But if you have, game number 1, 40 points for Miami in the first quarter. Game number 2, 40 points for Miami in the second quarter. If something like that happens, there's no chance. You have no chance to win. So I think Charlotte's going to have to figure out whatever the rotation's going to be, or who's going to be used. Get a figure on that. Come out playing tough defense from the beginning. The defense is portable. Defense, you can play hard game to game. You don't know if you're going to hit shots. Offense comes and goes, but defense can be more consistent. Charlotte has shown they can play top-level defense in this series, and they've done it in several second halves of this series. They need to come out with that mindset from the beginning of game number 7. If they do, I think they have a chance to win. Look, anything can happen in a game 7. JLin could go for 40 points. So it's not like Miami is a sure bet here. They're not. Miami could still lose this series, and Charlotte can still win. Marvin Williams could go for 30 points and hit 8 threes. It's just the team's got to believe, and they have to get out on the court and execute it. So that's where we're at. Like I said, a difficult defeat tonight. Obviously this is not what JLin fans and Charlotte Hornets fans were looking for tonight. We're all disappointed. I'm not worried about Jeremy or anything. He's already shown a new level in this playoffs. He's already shown that he's at a different level than he's been at in any of the other playoffs. And he's performed well on the road. He did perform well in game number 4. It wasn't perfect in game number 5. It wasn't perfect, but it was good. And remember, he had the game-winning assist, so he was clutch. He will learn from this. Hopefully he can learn from it quickly. Let's just try to get a win. It's one game. We all seen the games, or you've seen the college basketball games, or Villanova, or back old school Villanova versus Georgetown. One team they just shoot and they hit everything. Charlotte comes out and they're on fire. They can win. If they come out and they play great defense, they can win. These are two very evenly matched teams. So I can't wait. I wanted the Hornets to win tonight, but I'm definitely not giving up on them for game number 7. Okay, that is it for now. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Your comments below. Thank you to Gary Chen for the artwork you're looking at right now. Gary is an artist and blogger in Taiwan. He is also a member of the Jeremy Only Lin Garden fan group, which is headquartered in Taiwan. You can learn more about Gary and Jeremy Only Lin Garden if you follow the information in the video description for Gary and the Jeremy Only Lin Garden group. Also in the description, you'll find information so you can check out highlights of this game. I don't have a direct link for the video because when I did it, I got it, it wasn't there. But it takes you to the page for the series. So by the time this video is up, it'll probably be the game recap video, which comes up, hopefully so. And if not, just look for it, and it shouldn't be too hard to find. Finally, in the video description, you'll find information about how you can come and follow us on Twitter, and how you can come and join the Conservative New Media Facebook group as well. I tend to tweet out during the games and when anything important happens in between games, like injury news, this type of thing. Love to see you and have you come follow us there. Once again, I'm PFA Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert. Thanks a lot for watching Conservative New Media. We strive to be the #1 JLin YouTube fan channel. Look, it's a tough outing. It's a tough night. Just like the other night was a great night. Hopefully, in less than 2 days, we'll have another great game number 7. And Jeremy's feeling good, and the team is feeling good after that. They can do it. They can do it. Remember, this team has been counted out so many times this season. It's unbelievable. So I'm not going to count them out yet. Not until the end. So I'm still hanging in there. I'm still keeping the faith. And I hope that you'll be able to do the same thing. Also hope you're having a great night, a great day, wherever you are around the world. Take care. We will talk to you again in less than 48 hours after game number 7, Charlotte versus Miami, the deciding game. Somebody's going to win 4-3 in the series, and it will take place once again, 1 p.m. Eastern Time here in the United States, Sunday, May 1st. See you then.